Live just to pull that on Jordan. See when you go on break?
I
And they
did.
miss you?
Gone for 1 week and I get hit by a Nerf gun. We're like, why'd they leave a crack in the door? You guys were in on this together. Shame
Why
on
is
you.
the door
Shame
open?
on you.
I wondered why he closed it, then opened it a little. Because it's...
Point now. Get out of here. Close that.
What the? You're lucky we're cabled in.
Oh my goodness.
That's
okay.
not
I'll be
fair.
doing the rest of the show from this angle right here. So good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the pre-celebration connection.
Who's
Jason
on there?
hit me in the face with a Nerf gun.
Who's even watching this?
Who's even on here this morning? Good morning, Rose. We're so glad that you're here. Peter, Loli, and Sam, thank you for
So
being
we have
logged on with us
witnesses.
this morning.
We have witnesses.
We do. So you might be subpoenaed, or we might call you to testify
Yes.
in a court of law. So hang on for that, guys. We're glad that you're here this morning.
Well, I was trying to say welcome back, but now I'm not sure if you're happy to be back.
I know. Now I'm questioning it. I got ambushed the first minute I got back.
Well, how was your week, though? You were with family.
I was. I
Yes.
got to go back to the mainland and see some family. So.
Cool. And then swabbed on the
glad.
way back. Your
Yes.
your noses are clean?
We did the spit tube test to come
I
back into
did not
Hawaii.
hear of that.
It was
Oh, okay.
awful because like you need so much spit.
It's worse than getting a Q-tip?
Okay, it's
up
not
there?
awful. Okay, it was not awful compared to the nose thing.
Okay.
But you're surprised at how much spit you need and how hard it is to come up with that. I know that's gross, but like you gotta
Ooh,
fill
yeah,
the
good morning.
tube.
All right.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah.
Fill the spit tube. So.
Well, you're negative, so hey, we're
Oh
happy.
yeah, I made it back. It's okay. All my spit was nice and clean. Okay, there you go.
Let me wash that down a little.
Bruce is gonna take a beat here. But we just want to say happy Memorial Day
Yes.
to everybody. Thank you to everybody who has served in our military, and especially large thank you to everybody who has fallen in
Yeah,
the line
or
of
if you've
duty.
lost somebody in there, we thank you for having that family member or close friend serving in our country. Thank you
that
very much.
sacrifice. So thank you so much for that respect and gratitude for our service members. Woo! Okay.
I
this
see a
week-
shadow walk by the
I know,
door and I'm
now
worried.
we're scared. Now we're a little twitchy. We got
Gosh.
glass doors in the studio here.
If you ever want to come by here, you guys are welcome to come say hi and see what we have to deal with back here. But
Yes.
all right,
Okay.
back to the show.
Okay, sorry. Would you rather question? Would you rather get shot in the face with a Nerf gun? No, I'm kidding. Would you rather always be like 10 minutes late?
So
okay?
substantially
you're a little
late, yeah.
Yeah, you're late, but you're not like you
you're-
didn't miss the whole event.
But you're obviously late. Like,
Yes,
okay,
you're
obvious.
going to be obviously late to everything you ever show up to, or you have to be ridiculously early. So a little late, or ridiculously early to everything you ever have to do. What's your choice? Little early, little late, way too early. What do you guys think?
See, the easy answer would be like, oh, just always early. But you're like, really? Do I
Okay,
wanna
but
be
I'm talking like
do you
it's gotta
want to be like
an
half
hour early,
I'm like,
for
ah.
everything. So like a dentist appointment, you're sitting in the waiting room for an
Yeah.
hour. Like
Well,
anything.
My life is kind of 10 minutes late anyway, and
like that doesn't sound too bad.
but I'm not too happy about that. I'm not too proud of that. So I might, at this point, lean to being early only because I'd want to change that about my pattern of life of, okay, being 10 minutes late is okay. Maybe no, it's not. So I don't know. I would go for
what's
early.
the saying? Like 10 minutes late is.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So then what does that make 10 minutes late?
In trouble. Like,
Yeah.
You missed the entire thing, right?
Yeah, I kind of hover in that like 2 to 5 minute late window often, so not too bad. But I wish I was earlier. Hour early, might be fun trying it out. But hey, I'll go with early because that'd be an interesting change.
So Rose and Jen are both saying they're usually late anyway. So Jen's just like, I'll be late, and Rose is like, you know what? I'm gonna try the early.
See,
that
right,
way
Rose?
I'll get a little better. Yeah, I feel like. Excuse me. I feel like the respectful thing would be I'm gonna be early.
Be early, right?
But I'm gonna be honest and probably just be like, I'm just gonna be the one who's 10 minutes late. It's Hawaii anyway, right?
Well, it gets awkward when when you're like you're there for someone an hour early. They're like, did I schedule this wrong?
Yeah, or like you're
what
in
are you here
somebody's
for?
office and their secretary's like, he's been here for an hour. And they're like, that could be awkward too. I don't know. Things to think about. So anybody else who's joining us, Monica, good morning. We're glad that you're watching with us. If you want to answer that would you rather question,
Mm-hmm.
would you rather be 10-ish minutes late or an hour early to everything for the rest
Everything.
of your life? Go ahead.
Oh,
and
but
let
if
us
it's a
know.
party, then you get hour early, then you get all the food first. So hey, maybe.
That is true.
Okay.
That is true. And you could help set up.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
sure.
say.
I'm sure if you show up an hour early to
We're
a
gonna put you to
party in
work.
Hawaii, you're gonna be working the barbecue.
Yeah.
Or like blowing up balloons or something. I
For
guarantee it.
sure.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, everybody. This morning we're going to be discussing the armor of God.
Easy, right? Everybody knows what the armor of God is.
Yeah, right, Bruce? Okay, without looking,
Breastplate
without looking at the notes, no.
I'm gonna
So
hide
it
the
was
notes
funny in recalling this, even being a church kid my whole life, and a church adult my whole life too. Now that I think about it, you can't. Realizing that I had kind of a Sunday school understanding of the armor of God. It sounds like such an easy concept. I feel like we get into some rough territory.
It's always, you've heard it so many times, you assume you get it.
Yes.
Until
it's-
you sit down and try to write it out. You're
Yes.
like, oh.
And explain it again.
Yes.
That's exactly it. I was like, oh wow, I really have a very childish understanding of the armor of God because it's such an easy concept to illustrate. I think it's one of those children's books or like the mural on the wall in
Yeah.
the nursery kind of things. Like, here, just put on your armor. You're all set. What a wonderful metaphor.
Yeah.
But it kind of keeps
And then,
it.
and then when
surface level.
then when you actually have to talk about it, you're, okay, let's remember what Waxer said or what my latest sermon told me. A little harder.
Okay, Bruce.
Okay.
You're up to bat. You
Okay.
got this. What is the armor of God? What does it mean? It's not just a Sunday school.
Okay, we're
illustration.
gonna run through the notes here real quick. So if you remember, it's the 6 pieces. So that I remembered, it's the 6. But the order got me a little
I had to
funky.
count.
So we counted it. So we wrote it down. So the belt of truth, that's where it starts. Then you go to the breastplate of righteousness. Your feet are gonna be readiness. Sorry, that was coming out wrong.
That's what it is. It's like it says your feet should be ready. I
Then your
guess.
shield is your faith, helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word. And that could go into a whole sermon right there. But where are you guys on this? We want to know how much you guys know about it. But real quick, one of the things that come to mind for me when I'm wrestling with or learning or maybe sharing with the armor of God, I always kind of go back to sharing the purposes of it.
Yes.
Like, I at least for myself, I can get caught up in trying to each piece it and like, okay, this means this means this. Okay, I have my Bible, I have my prayer, I have my faith. Okay, that's all the pieces of armor. But why? And one of the notes I wrote down in my studies is like we talk about here, one of is when you're looking at something and you want to know more about it, or if you have questions, you stretch it out. You okay, well, what's in front of it and what's behind it?
Yes.
Put it in context. Context plus content equals.
Meaning.
That's what you guys said, right?
Yeah, you guys said it. We heard it.
So in that, when I look at Ephesians 6, in that whole area around 10, from the beginning to the end, it's remember it's at the end of Ephesians we were talking
Yes,
about.
last
So he has this
chapter.
great teaching going on, and then he wraps it up with, finally, kind of like, if you put this all together, what's the one thing to remember is he wraps it up with
Yes.
finally, be strong in the Lord, which I love. I love that going all the way back through Joshua. Only be strong and courageous. He wraps up with finally be strong in the Lord. And then what is this? What he's about to say about the armor? What is it for? And he's saying it's to help you because you are not in battle against you're not in battle against flesh and blood. Meaning this armor is a spiritual armor. It's not an actual sword. It's not an actual breastplate.
That
And
would have been cool though.
Yeah, that would be. So he sets the stage of remembering that this is all a spiritual battle, folks. And then he walks you through what each one means.
Yes.
And then at the end of that, so again, the front and the back end is really where it takes shape is. At the end of it, okay, you have your armor. Now to do what? It's to stand, trust, and take it up so that you can stand. So it's not an offensive where all of a sudden, God's this God of, grace and peace, and all of a sudden he wants you to go out there and destroy something. He's got you armored up to be ready and to stand firm. And that's really where I kind of wrap it all in. Okay, if we piece this out in what each thing means, that's great, but to what end and that's so you can be strong, be firm, and be ready for the attacks that are coming, instead of going out there and like finding it. We're not gonna go sneak attack the devil or something because I've got my armor on. Okay, let's go find him. I'm ready. It's like, no, God said you're gonna be who you are, who I made you, with your feet firmly planted in the ground and ready for what's coming. So
Yes.
that's what I love about the armor of God is the context He puts it in. Be ready for life. Life is real and things are going to happen, but armored up, you're ready for it.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for that overview. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. That's good. Good morning, Tara. Thank you for watching
Yeah,
with
Tara.
us this morning. But I want to know from you guys, which part of the armor of God makes the most sense to you? Which is the first one that you're like, yeah, I got that one. Which one feels, I don't know.
I got that on already.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like because in the spectrum of life, I think a lot of us have tendencies towards other areas, and God gives us strengths and graces in some areas and not in others. So my question is, which one of these is your favorite? Which one of these sticks out most to you? I mean, the sword of the Spirit, using the sword as the Bible. That's a very strong imagery as well that I've thought my whole life is that you get to use.
Down comes to you easily.
Yes, that it feels like He's equipped us with that. And so I like that imagery of using the word of God as the sword of the Spirit. It's just like, it's like a weapon too. It's not just this passive book that's
Yeah, like, oh, that's nice.
old fuddy-duddy history that we don't need to care about, but it's active, it's alive, it's
Yes.
something that we can apply and use again and again and again today. So that's the one that sticks out to me. What about you?
My easy one would be the belt of truth. Not so much that in the sense of, I know all the truth in the Bible, but it's always been, I don't know if easy is the right word, but as I struggled through maybe topics or stages of life or maybe, maturity as I was learning, I always felt secure in falling back to what I do know. So what do I know to be true? I've always been pretty firm on that. I don't know the rest of it, or I don't know all the questions, but I do know God is this, or God has shown me that, or God, whatever I can reflect on that is true has been something that's kind of helped make the rest of the journey easier to kind of always fall back on that. Okay, well, but I know this is true. I don't quite know what you're talking about, but I know this, and that's been easier for me to always know that there is a truth, and it's been proven over and over. Therefore, it's true. Despite some talkings out there is truth out there.
Yes, there is. Amen. That's a good one. I like that one a lot. Paul, good morning. Thank you so much for watching
Paul.
with us. We're glad that you are here. So Rose, yes, girl, you are right here with me. She says
Where's
the next
Rose?
verse is to pray, caps, P-R-A-Y, in the Spirit. Yes, that is verse 18, which is another little thing I love about this section of Scripture when you start taking it apart, is that it's got all these things of how exactly to prepare, these different parts of armor to put on, and then the final punch is, but pray.
Yeah.
And I think it's pray about everything. Is, the Jordanese version, once again, is pray about anything and everything all the time. So it couples this whole thing together. Anybody else? Let us know maybe what is the easiest part or the hardest part
or
that
maybe the
seems
hardest.
to you about this this armor of God concept. I would love to hear what you guys think about that.
Hard. I definitely say hard for me sometimes is having my feet ready, because I'll be kind of anxious, to kind of either move to the next thing or even shuffle, being uncomfortable in, okay, wait, I don't understand that. So so for me, that's always grasping that concept of having my feet ready. Well, ready for what? Ready for what? Ready for what? Kind of, okay, where are my feet supposed to be?
And God's like, just chill.
Yeah.
Just be ready. And you're like, but ready for what? And it's
Exactly.
like, that's the point. You don't know. So you just need to be ready.
I understand it, but I get a little anxious sometimes.
Yes. I think I'm going to say that for me, probably the shield of faith.
Okay.
I don't know, in this soft concept of imagery. So what's cool about the shield of faith right there in the Bible, it says, is the purpose of that shield is that it blocks the flaming arrows of the enemy. And I'm like, I'm going to be honest with you. When I picture myself holding that, I picture myself dropping it and like screaming. I'm like, oh! Like just
Darts!
Like, I wasn't ready for that. No, why is he shooting things
I
at
don't
me?
think that's quite what he had in mind when he said, have your shield ready.
And that's what I'm
Drop
saying.
and run.
I'm like, but hey, for me, that's scary. I'm like, I hope I have my shield up, and I hope I have the guts to keep holding
we're
it
gonna
up.
strap it on you.
Yes,
That-
zip tie it down on me so I can't put it down. But yes, Barbie, good morning. Thank you Barbie says chapter and verse. This is from Ephesians chapter 6,
Yes.
verses 10 through
10.
18.
Yes, but like I said, expand it out to the whole paragraph and get your whole picture
Yeah, read the
together.
whole chapter.
Yeah, and speaking of chapters, we're getting ready for our One Love service here starting at 8 o'clock. This has been the pre-celebration connection, 15 minutes early each Sunday where we talk and get warmed up. Real quick, Jordan, what do they need to have ready?
But you're going to have your Bible ready because we study it line by line.
Yes.
So we're glad you're here. Get those Bibles open. We'll see you next Sunday.
Aloha.